gonna go ahead. All right, welcome again, everyone, for joining us for our campfire chat. So happy to see everyone here tonight, and I'm excited to hear a lot of our stories. I'm going to screen share as soon as I can I have a tab in the way here, which is not helping. You gotta love Zoom, right?
Do you though?
I mean, I guess we don't. And oh, thanks, Josh. I just saw that. Yeah, if you guys have to drop off, this won't. I mean, this will be as long as you guys would like it to be. But I definitely understand if people have to drop off. I know we all have a lot of things going on. And my screen is being a little finicky, so bear with me here. All right. Okay, so I had to add the campfire. I love s'mores. I don't know about you guys. So welcome. In case you don't have it handy, my email is membership@nhscouting.org, and I welcome an email or a phone call anytime. I'm just gonna go over some of the resources. I know the familiar faces here know what we have, so I'll go through it quickly, and if you have questions, definitely let me know. If you're not getting the Membership Monday newsletter, you can go on the Membership and Marketing Hub, and down the left-hand side, there's a tab that says Membership Newsletter, and there's a big red subscribe button once you click on that tab. So please subscribe. There's lots of tips and resources and unit best practices and a lot of unit wins as well, and photos for our membership memorable moment, which highlights units that are doing awesome things that particular week. It's a weekly email, comes out every Monday, usually around 8 p.m. And sometimes I got a late night version at about 10 or 11 p.m. So keep an eye out. Thursdays, I do a lunchtime live on Facebook. It's at 12:30, so I tried to do it at lunchtime, obviously. So if you have a little bit of a lunch break from work or whatever it is that you are busy doing, because I know it's a busy time of year, you can pop in. It's usually just 10 minutes or so. And I welcome folks to be interactive and asking questions and commenting and all that fun stuff. It's just a casual chat about membership and retention and even some programming ideas. And then our Membership and Marketing Hub, if you guys haven't bookmarked that yet, please do. There will be a QR code in a little bit that will help you get to that link. There are even more specific tools at your fingertips in the hub. We have new welcome back to scouting letters that you can send out to scouts that may have dropped over COVID that you're hoping will come back this year. And there is also a new link with our digital applications, national forms, all those important forms you guys need periodically. There is a link to the digital version of Scout Life and much more. We're trying to really have the hub be a one-stop shop. So if you have other ideas on what you'd like to see within the hub, definitely let me know. Mobile Base Camp, I know some of you have done this already. We have a calendar for easier booking. We're now offering a mini Mobile Base Camp because we have 3 more archery units available to our scouting units. And there's separate calendars to book the mini Mobile Base Camp. And then the regular Mobile Base Camp, which is the trailer that you see up in the right-hand corner. And then we have the individual archery units, and we have inflatable soccer darts. So we're really trying to gather and make all those tools easily accessible for you guys to make recruiting that much easier. There's swag in the base camps, flyers, notebooks, all inside the unit for your convenience. There's a photo prop with a QR code to beascout.org, which is super fun for the kids and the families to take a picture with. Branded tablecloths are now within the units as well. Just gives us a more professional look. And of course, you're here right now. The monthly membership meetings, they're every month, the third Thursday of every month. And we love it as often as you can join us. You guys know the incentives. There's a President's Membership Challenge. We have more than 13 units now that have claimed the top prize is 200, but now we're on to the $150 prize of recruiting 5 new scouts. This is extended through December 31st, actually, I put the 30th, it's actually the 31st. And that is also accessible through the Membership and Marketing Hub. A new incentive that we have going on is through beascout.org, and it's only available through beascout.org. When you have new scouts registering through beascout.org and they enter the promo code, all lowercase, be a scout, the first 1,000 to join in that way will have the $25 fee waived. So it's a great incentive to get people to register right away, knowing that it is a limited offer. Get your scouts excited about the incentive. Don't just tell the adults, right? This is how you get your unit excited, and maybe there's a little bit of competitiveness between dens or patrols. You know, instead of telling the kids we can earn 200 bucks, plan a unit pizza party, a popsicle party, or a fun activity if 5 new scouts happen to join your unit. Offer a raffle drawing. And a few of our units have done this, and I'm so happy that they're using this idea because it really has been working. Every scout who brings a friend to a meeting earns a raffle ticket. And then you raffle off, you know, maybe you have parents donate some raffle baskets with some fun stuff. Even the things you can gather at the dollar store, like candies and snacks and all that fun stuff. Kids just want to win. They actually really don't care what's in the bucket. They just love free stuff. You guys probably know that. So offer that raffle drawing to get them to bring a buddy. It truly works. And then, like I said earlier, creating a competition between your dens, patrols, your scouts, your groups, you know, however that works for you guys. The winning group can earn an ice cream sundae party or a pizza party or a special event. And they love competing against each other. You guys probably definitely have noticed that. So with your joint scouting events, we're going to talk more about ideas, but just to, you know, give you some things to think about here. Make sure that you have registered your joint scouting event through the Membership and Marketing Hub. There is a tab for that. I feel like saying there's an app for that, right? There's a tab for that. The flyer requests ask for the joint scout event details and vice versa. So if you put your joint scouting event details in, the second page goes into the flyer requests. If you don't need flyers for whatever reason, you can just add in the special requests at the bottom. You can just type in just registering my joint scouting night. It's just important that we have that information so we can reach out and support you the best way that we can. Plan an event with the mobile base camp in the archery unit. This works best when you're at a large community event. You know, plan that out and then have those flyers inviting those interested people back to your unit for your own unit's joint scouting event. It's important to follow up with your own personal joint scouting event. That way they can ask questions and it's just a more personable, you know, meetup where they can really meet the leaders, see the kids in your unit and see if it's a good fit. And be sure folks can register to join on the spot. So use your beascout.org QR code pins, have some tablets or, you know, some devices that have beascout.org pulled up so they can just register or put their names, their information in the invitation manager while they're there. All right, and I can talk more about QR codes and pins and all that fun stuff. If you guys have any questions, you know, we can follow up on another
I
time
have
or
some
later.
comments about the pins.
I'm sorry?
I have a comment.
Oh,
I have some
sure.
comments on the pin updating information and how you direct people to there. I with the girls troop in Lebanon, New Hampshire 279, and I tried to update our pin. I got a reminder, you know, somewhere to do it. I logged into myscouting.org. There's a reminder about updating your pin
Yeah.
on myscouting.org. But it turns out you actually have to go to scoutbook.scouting.org to update it. And I think wherever you mention update your pin, give the URL about how to do it too. I know that's national, not you, but they'll listen to you on a membership issue, I assume.
Yeah, you actually can update it in my.scouting.
I couldn't find it. I looked and I'm a computer person. I couldn't find it.
If you
I
go,
looked in the menu.
yeah, Hmm. Well, if you click on the menu up in the left upper right corner, and it should give
Yeah.
you the options down below. It'll say like invitation manager, application manager, and
Yeah.
organization
I
manager.
had that and, oh, you know what it was? I'm sorry. First of all, it did take forever for me to find it. I did find it, and then it said this site is managed by council, and I had to get them to give it to me, and I don't know how it defaulted to that.
Yeah,
That was what the
sometimes,
last problem was.
yeah, I'm not sure why some of the pins do that. We've had a few units say this is a council managed pin, and I'm not sure why it does that. You know, we don't purposely go in there and click on them. I don't know if it sometimes defaults to that for some reason, but if you are finding that again, or if that is an issue, we can easily go in and switch that for you and make sure that the unit can manage that as well. This
Yeah,
is,
I did get that eventually. Yeah.
so we did fix that for you,
Okay,
Bonnie?
well, thanks.
Is that right? Okay. Yeah, if you have more questions about that, let
Yeah,
me know.
yeah.
On the Membership and Marketing Hub, we also have bscout.org tutorials on how to update the pin, how to manage it, how to, how to go into the invitation and application manager and all that stuff. But if you have further questions, I'm more than happy to walk through that with you as well.
I find that Google is the best way to figure out how to do something, or to find out that it can't be done, like I found today when I was trying to do the med forms. Different issue, but
Yes.
I'm using Google a lot to figure out how to use these, and because there's overlap between them, and some of them sync from one to the other, and it's like not completely integrated completely yet.
Right. Yeah. I hear you on that. I'm a big
But
Google person too.
Google
for sure.
really, I've found, is the best way to figure out how to do it, and I'm recommending that to the other leaders, so I don't have to give like personal tutorials to people after I figure it out.
Yeah, I hear you. If you if you do get stuck though, or if you just want to talk it through with someone, and I'm saying this for everybody as well, definitely let me know. I had a district commissioner contact me, and we actually did a Zoom together, and I walked through the bscout.org, my scouting, the whole menu and how to go through, updating the unit pin and all of that. So I'm definitely open to doing that for whoever needs it.
One last thing that is about nhscouting.org. I have definitely been, I definitely have support at nhscouting.org, in my autocomplete on my email. And my latest thing is the entire site is blocked for people who are using VPNs, even if the VPN is coming out in the country. It happens because I think it was Tyler, and said that if it's a international VPN, it won't work, but ours comes out in New York City.
Huh.
So there's going to be other people too, including potential members, if they're running a VPN, see anything at nhscouting.org. Because I don't. I'm getting a 403 forbidden from the firewall. You can tell it's from the phone, not even get to the web server.
Right.
And Tyler confirmed that. So they didn't sound like they were going to fix it. If you could encourage them to, I think it'll help.
I'll definitely let the powers that be know, because that
Thank
is
you.
a problem. I know my husband also has a phone that works off of that as well, and I know that can be really
Mhm.
frustrating, and it does happen with certain sites. But I'll definitely see if there's a way they can rectify that, because that's definitely important that everyone's able to get on there. Thank you for mentioning that.
Yeah, it can't be just me.
No, it's definitely not. I know. I think it was Eliza just said that it's happening to her too. So I'll definitely get it out there. Thank you. This is for the national membership and marketing webinars. They have really great webinars with a lot of great ideas. The QR code is there. I can send out the slide deck to you guys too, so you have the information. But it's on the Membership and Marketing Hub, the national one, under webinars, and they have a lot of great recorded webinars as well. Just wanted to share that. So here we are, Mobile Base Camp. I know I can't see this either. Sorry. Just thought I'd put it up here so you guys could see what this is going to look like. But we just put together a really simple, short and sweet mobile base camp recruitment guidebook, should say really guide sheet. This will live in the mobile base camp, and it's also already on the membership and marketing hub under leader resources. And it basically explains, like, this is a membership table here, and it just kind of gives tips on how to set up the table, how to welcome people when they approach the unit, the mobile base camp. And it has lots of different lots of like different steps to just kind of help you guys out when it comes to welcoming people, how to turn those interested people into scouters and that sort of thing. So it's kind of just a little checklist, if you will. And sorry, it's a screenshot, so it is blurry. But it is, like I said, available on the membership and marketing hub. On the second page here, there is the bscout.org QR code. So that way you have access to that in case you need it. And then this is the membership and marketing hub QR code. So in case you have to access any resources while you're with the unit, it is there. It is there for you. So that way, if you're like, oh man, I forgot all the things, all the things are here. And if you feel like anything is missing, definitely let me know. Oh, Eliza, you raised your hand.
Right.
Go for it.
Sorry. While we're on this topic, I was looking through all of the marketing pictures on the recruitment page, and I couldn't find a single one that showed any mobile base camps. And I tried to pull them off of this, but then the pixels weren't right for social media. Do you have any access to any photos I could use?
I do have some great pictures and I will email them to you.
Hey, okay, thank you.
Yeah, sorry about that. That's a good point. And
No, no worries. I figured they're somewhere. There's like what, thousands of pictures on that website, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna just ask Cindy.
I know things can get lost in the shuffle for sure. There are some on the Daniel Webster Council Facebook page too, here and there, I think, but I can definitely email those over to you too.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. That's a good point. So basically there's just a little step-by-step guide, and I won't go through everything, but the first step is, making sure your membership table looks attractive and is set up and ready to greet people. So in the mobile base camp, there is some swag. I actually have to work on ordering more because we've had a couple of really big events lately, and I do think we may be running a little short. But there were patches and stickers and pencils. There's water bottles. I know it's a little blurry here, but there's those green water bottles. We had bags that had tumblers and stickers and little collector patches and things like that inside them as well. And the other thing I usually do is over on the right-hand side, you can see there's like flat flyers. I have flyers in like a protective sleeve. And one of the flyers is Granite Base Camp. So that way, if someone is just interested in checking out some programming, because hopefully you guys heard Granite Base Camp actually has open programming for all youth, all families, registered or not, every weekend. So this is a great recruiting tool for everybody, because if someone isn't ready to make that commitment, they can check out Granite Base Camp for a day and get that programming in, and then realize, hey, this stuff is cool. I'm totally gonna join. So we have a Granite Base Camp flyer with a QR code that takes them to Experience Base Camp website. There's another flyer, once again, with the bscout.org council QR code. So it brings them there, and they can just put in their area code, zip code, and it'll call up those local units, and then they can register right there on the spot. And there's another flyer too that just totally escaped my brain. But those resources are in the mobile base camp for you guys, and they live there. There are extra flyers that also feature the bscout.org council QR code as well. So if you had brought your flyers and you ran out, or if maybe you just didn't have a chance to print or order flyers ahead of time, at least there's flyers there that you can give out and people will be able to find a unit to join. Eliza, did you have another question? Because I see the hand up. I wasn't sure if that was still.
Okay, so I have to put my hand back down.
No,
maybe?
don't worry. I just didn't want to miss you.
Sorry.
No problem. I like seeing the hand. It's good. And so you want to display those flyers, obviously. I am going to get some plastic frames to also, store in the mobile base camp as well. So that way they're actually framed. Right now, they're just in a protective plastic covering. There are those like banners that stand up. It's a little tough if you're outside and it's windy, but there are banners you can set up. And what I suggest is setting up banners kind of in front of the membership table in a way that you would almost try to filter your guests in, if that makes sense. So what you want to happen is you want guests to feel like they need to check in at your membership table. People may not use the archery range or the mobile base camp or Gaga Ball until they come through and they check in. And here's why. You want to have that chance to give them the scouting stories. This is a great attraction to get those people to you and have their full attention and let them know about scouting, let them know about your unit, the fun, cool things that you guys do. You might want to bring a poster collage of all the pictures of all the cool stuff that you're doing. You may want to have a slideshow playing on an iPad or a device that you might want to bring with you. Or just have a photo album available. You can make digital photo albums almost for free if you have a QR code. QR code's on my brain, can you tell? If you have a promo code, that's great to keep handy for new families to check out. And you can display that at your membership table and at your unit meetings. And you want people to filter in, and when they approach you, invite them to take some swag. And at the same time say, hey, this actually is our mobile base camp. And this is, Camp on the Go with Daniel Webster Council and Boy Scouts of America. I'd like to tell you a little bit more about scouting. And then you go into your scouting story, your scouting spiel. And then you ask them to please enter their information into, and you don't have to say invitation manager because they don't really know what that means, but you can say, if you'd like more information, you have no obligation to join, but we'd really like you to enter your information before you check out our ranges. And then you call up your invitation manager, you have them enter in that information. Or there are lots of notepads in the mobile base camp. If they're not comfortable with doing something on a device, have them write down their contact information on that notebook and just be sure you take those contacts with you. Do not, I repeat, do not let a family walk away without leaving their contact information. There's always someone interested in Granite Base Camp in their day programs. Now they have homeschool programs as well, which is a really great resource for our families. And, you never know when they're going to be ready to join. So grab that contact information and be sure they, it's kind of like a registration. They have to register in order to play and have fun. And I encourage you guys to bring, a lot of your scouts with you. They can wear Class A uniforms or even their Class B t-shirts. I say having a mixture is probably a great plan, so it's not too intimidating. Sometimes folks find uniforms a little intimidating at first. And have those scouts playing Gaga Ball as often as possible. Otherwise, it looks like a little playpen that's just set up in the corner. So you may want scouts playing in there, a couple of volunteers, willing to get in there and show the kids what to do. And, once they realize it's Gaga Ball, they love it. But it definitely is important to have some scouts in there and playing and having a good time. Welcome. Thanks for joining us, Matthew. So I'm just looking down our little checklist here. Are there any questions so far? Is this helpful for you guys when it comes to using the mobile base camp? I hope.
I have a question.
Sure.
I can't find it now, but as I was looking through different things, there's a training being offered on Sunday, the 17th. And briefly looking at it, did that have to do with being able to teach the archery in the mobile base camp?
Sonia, it's like I told you to ask this question, like I prompted you to ask it. Thank you for asking it. Yes, thank you for bringing that up. So October 17th is the first of our monthly trainings for Range Master certification, which means after that one day, you will be able to run the BB or archery range with the mobile base camp or the separate archery range that you may want to reserve for your unit as well. This is hugely important. It is free. And it's so important because, as you guys know, if you have the mobile base camp there, it looks nice, but you don't get the full effect without using the ranges. I mean, people just love the fact that they can shoot BBs. They love seeing the archery unit set up, and even a lot of the adults really enjoy taking a stab at that. But unfortunately, it's tricky, right? Because we do have to have a trained person for safety reasons manning those ranges. So the first one, as Sonia mentioned, is October 17th, and you can register through Granite Base Camp. There was a link in my Membership Monday newsletter, and there was a link in Allison's newsletter for Granite, the Wednesday weeklies that she sends out through for Granite Base Camp as well. And yeah, so very important. Bonnie, I see you raised your hand.
Yes. Now, is that training, the qualification you get during that, is that just for the mobile base units, or is it general range master?
It's General Range Master.
Because we are talking about starting a venturing crew in Lebanon with Grafton Fish and Game.
Awesome.
And so it's like the full range master qualification. Really, that is awesome.
Yeah, it's like a full day.
Rifle, shotgun.
It's not rifle
No.
shotgun. It's not rifle shotgun. It's actually, so I guess it's not full range master.
I
It's-
think, sorry, Cindy.
No, go
jump
ahead,
in.
Josh.
I think what you're looking for is called range safety officer training,
Yes.
RSO training.
Okay.
And will allow you to supervise, a range, that might be using pistol or rifle. And of course, that's separate from instructor training. And so I'm kind of going through all this right now with the shooting sports committee. So if that's something you're interested in,
Oh, good.
if you want to drop your email in the chat, I can put
Sure.
you in touch with some of the people who run that.
You can do membership at LebanonScouts.com.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you, Josh. Yeah.
Yeah, if you just put that
Sorry.
in the chat to me, I'll
Sure.
get you in touch with the right people for that.
Thanks, Josh.
No problem.
Yeah, sorry about that. I misunderstood. It does allow you to do the BB guns and archery, but yeah, not.
Right. So
like-
I think Range Master allows you to run a BB or archery range at any council approved range.
Mhm. That's right.
Okay, yeah, so we'll look into getting that,
Okay.
because there's going to be a lot of qualified people there at the Fish and Game Club, but we just need to send them through the BSA certification. And then there's some BSA people who would need the training as well as the certification. So, thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that question. And Josh, thank you for clarifying.
No
I
problem.
appreciate that. So yeah, so that is great news. And with offering that training, because it really allows us to utilize the mobile base camp and the archery units to, obviously in the most effective way. Just the inflatable units alone attract a lot of people, over. A lot of times I think it's a bounce house, which I appreciate, because the young kids are like, "Ooh, a bounce house." I'm like, "No, actually you can shoot BBs." And the mom's like, "I'm sorry, what?" And then I always say, if your mom lets you, if she agrees. But so it does attract a lot of people, and it's just really great when we can set all that up. And it would be really amazing to have enough people to be able to help out other units, within the areas that they live. So it'd be great to have a lot of people trained, all over the state, so we can really spread the wealth and work as a team to have fun with the unit and spread all the goodness that scouting has to offer as well. It's really fun to be out with the mobile base camp. I always enjoy it. Liza, did you have your hand raised?
I do have my hand raised. So we are using the mobile base camp October 9th, which is previous to this certification date. So does that mean we're not going to be allowed to use the archery and the BB?
So at the moment, our team works hard to staff the unit as much as possible with the folks that are trained. And it has been challenging, which is why we were like, okay, we need more training and we need volunteers to be able to do the training, because it is really, we only have like a handful of people that are trained right now. So it is difficult to get people over there. We haven't had to, I'm trying to think if there's been any particular event. Normally we find a way and we can at least get one range master to man the mobile base camp. And a lot of times we luck out and we have a few that are able to go. And it all depends on how busy the event is. For your event, Eliza, I know it's at the church, at Pilgrim Church with your unit. So one range master may be enough, to kind of rotate between BBs and archery. And I have been working on getting someone for you as well. Unfortunately, it's just hard to book book a lot of these people way in advance. And we have a very full schedule with our units right now. So we're just kind of taking one event at a time, and we really do our best to fill all the slots. So it is on our radar, and we work hard to get the people there that you need for sure.
Okay, so but it should be okay that I'm advertising those things.
Yeah.
So,
I know that is a little tricky, but I think in Nashua especially, we should be able to get someone there because Steve lives in Manchester, so and poor Steve, he's like always manning the ranges. Thank God he enjoys it, but so I think it's a little bit easier because a few of our people are a little bit more local to southern New Hampshire.
okay.
So yeah, no worries. I will be in touch with you and I'll let you know for sure what
Okay.
is happening. But I was getting through staffing what we had for this weekend.
Oh, no worries. I just want to make sure I'm not
Hello.
misleading anybody.
How you
What's that?
doing? What's that?
Sorry,
Okay.
Eliza, I missed the last thing you said.
No, I just said I just wanted to make sure I wasn't misleading anybody with my advertisement.
Yeah, I know I know that can be a little difficult, but yeah, we should be able, I'm thinking we should be able to cover you, and we'll work really hard to do so. It's definitely it's been out there, and we've been reaching out to the shooting sports committee and anyone we can that is available to help out.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. All right, let's see here. So yeah, if you guys are at a larger event, or if you have a lot of people at your particular event with the unit, just a reminder, invite people over. A lot of times we get stuck behind the table, right? When we're setting up a membership table, or if we're selling something at a table, even with popcorn, there's like this barrier, and a lot of times we forget that we can come out from behind the table, which sounds really silly, but I know I've done it myself. I've been kind of stuck behind the table. So it's really important to come out from behind the table and invite some of those kids that you see at these events. Maybe they're just kind of walking around. Say, hey guys, come on over. Do you want to play Gaga Ball? Hey, why don't you guys come over here, check out the table, grab some stickers, grab some patches, and really invite people over. Some people may be intimidated by some of the things set up. Some of the kids may not realize that they're able to enjoy the activities for free. And so that's always a good thing. Like, hey, we have free activities, come on over. I'd like to tell you a little bit about scouting, and you can get in line over here for the ranges. So don't forget to invite those families over. Some people who may seem a little timid, especially. And while people are waiting in line, because in some of our bigger events, we have long lines for the ranges, which is awesome, offer to take their photo with the photo prop. There's a handful of the photo props in the mobile base camp, and ask their permission to see if they mind if you post it on your social media pages and even on our council page or wherever you'd like to post it. Don't put any children's names on there. That kind of, we want to do make sure we're following youth protection. So we don't want to post anyone's names, but we love seeing, I love a good photo prop. I don't know about you guys. I was very excited about the photo props. And don't forget to follow up. That's a big aspect. That's another step that I know you won't be with the unit when you're following up, but after your event and very shortly after your event, follow up, email everybody. Thanks for visiting the mobile base camp. Here's more information about scouting. Here's my contact information if you have questions or want to reach out. And here's how you can register, right? And, please join us at our next meeting on, such and such a date and time at this location. We welcome you to come check us out. No obligation to join, but, come check out our unit. The follow-up is key for sure. All right. And so,
I
yes,
have
sorry,
a
Bonnie.
comment, question. Want to know a little bit more about on Be a Scout. And hand entering people whose information you get at an event. We just, a little aside, we just had a great event in Lebanon for LebFest. We went to Lebanon Green, and there's actually somebody besides me who was able to arrange it, which is awesome. And she really wants to help out. And she's like, oh, I'll just, I'll email them all. But there's the option there on beascout.com to enter them in, so they're in the system as a lead, with reminders sent to the people who are doing the membership stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I know, I don't, but I think it's a great system. I didn't hear you mention it. I want to make sure everybody on the call knows about that. And just what does the Scouts ends look like? We put them in, are they going to get weekly reminders? Are they just, there's a place to send them a note, but is the system going to be repeating the contact over some time, or?
So you're talking about when they get entered into the invitation manager?
I guess so.
Okay, so the invitation manager is a leads resource for us, like you were saying. It's a resource for us to track our leads, to see the potential scout, their age range, the parents' information for contact, things like that. So when they go into the invitation manager, I think the alerts only go out, and you guys let me know how often you get them, but for to go out to leaders, I think you only get an alert like once a week. So you may have leads going in there on a daily basis, but only get the alert like once a week to check, your Be a Scout leads. So you might want to just go in there without, whether you get an alert or not, to just see what is going on in there. But in the invitation manager, there is a spot on the right-hand side where leaders can make notes. So let's say you have what we call a lead in the invitation manager. I usually suggest to email them, call them, introduce yourself, and then ask if you can follow up with an email with more details if they prefer that. I know I'm a visual person, so I like to see the information in front of me, even though you've already told me about it. And then, within that email, you would obviously invite them to your next meeting, give them your contact information, the meeting details, and, a link to your website, your Facebook page, whatever it may be. If you get in contact with them and they say, we want to join, we're ready to join, then within the invitation manager, you can, in the bottom right-hand corner, it says send application, and you send the application digitally to them through the invitation manager. And then they can apply online. And then what happens is they end up in your application manager, because the application manager is where your applicants are, or is where the families that registered online go. And then you have to approve those applications. And then it gets sent to national. They end up part of your unit. And then, and then you would add them into your unit contacts from there. I think they,
Application manager via Scout.
and
Oh,
I can definitely
mine-
walk you through
not
all
on here.
that too, Bonnie.
Oh, no, it's fine. I went through it. I just did notice one thing, that we had a Scout. We contacted him. I kept still getting the reminders until I hit complete on that. He was like already
Yeah,
on our troop roster, but I had to manually hit complete on that lead,
I'm glad
and
you
keep getting
mentioned that
reminders.
too. Yeah.
as if it's a new one.
Yes, you're right. And I'm glad you mentioned that, because a lot of our unit leaders do that, where the lead remains open, and I can see everybody's leads as well. And so it gets confusing, because like, for example, if there's a lead that's been open for a while, I'll end up emailing or calling that lead, and they'll say, oh yeah, I'm already part of the unit. And I'm like, oh, you are? Well, that's weird, because you're
There's
still.
there's a chance for some automation there. This is an easy software fix. You just
Yeah.
say, if that Scout is already on the roster of the unit, mark it complete. That's a easy software fix
I totally agree with you.
for whoever maintains the system.
Yeah, it's maintained at a national level. And they
If you
have
could
done
trickle
some
that up.
updates. And I email them like, it was weekly for a while about suggestions on how to make it a little bit more streamlined. Because I agree with you. I think there can be a lot more things that can be automated to make it easier for everybody. Because we have a lot of unit leaders that don't close out or complete the leads. And completing the lead means that they've applied and they're part of your unit. And then closing out the lead means they're no longer interested, or maybe they moved on to another unit, or whatever the case may be, but it closes it out. So that way it's not cluttering up your, your system, your screen, basically. But thank you for bringing that up. That is definitely a good point. So this is the fun part, because I want to hear from you guys. I have talked way too much in this meeting. I apologize. You guys are probably sick of my voice. I would love to hear what is working for you, some things that maybe are not working, or things that you feel are missing. What will you keep doing? What maybe you found that wasn't working and maybe you'll stop doing? And what you're looking forward to trying maybe next time. I will not accept silence.
I've already talked a lot, but I can talk a little more about what
Yes,
Lebanon
please.
did. Sorry to dominate your presentation here.
No, please. I
Um,
hate the fact that I talk the whole time. I don't want it to be like that.
So we heard about LebFest about 2 weeks before it was going to, maybe a month before it was going to happen. And we didn't even do anything about it for a week. But then the person who I'm kind of shadowing and helping her, be membership chair, because I have other titles, she really started running with it and brainstormed with some of the other leaders. And we had an information booth there, which means we weren't selling anything. I believe they had the donations thing there. This came about too late for us to get the mobile unit or anything like that. We checked into that with our with our district. But they decided on a camping theme. So things like, backpacks with equipment and what you'd be taking, and demonstrating knot tying, and and having a tent. I wasn't there, so I don't know if they followed through with every single thing, but they were all great ideas, and they did most of them. And I had made up a sign-up sheet to get the names on paper, and they filled up a whole sign-up sheet, and
Wow.
she's starting the follow-up process. So it went really well. We're
Oh, that's
very
so
happy. And
awesome.
we're just a troop. Our pack basically folded during the pandemic, but we're still getting inquiries from Cub age Scouts. And I did read somewhere on one of the scouting sites about districts that were kind of breaking up the dens between different towns. So one group would do lions, one does bears. That's, we're in the Upper Valley, so we'd be looking for other people in the Upper Valley to partner with like that.
That's a great idea. I love that. Teamwork makes the dream work, as I like to say.
Yeah.
And I
if we
love that
partner up
camping
with-
theme.
Yeah,
Camping theme is always so fun too. I love that. And obviously it,
Yeah.
it gives people a great idea of what they have in store when they join the unit, which is great.
yeah. And try on the backpack, see how heavy it is, crawl inside the tent for the little ones. Yeah, stuff to do.
That's awesome. I love that.
Thanks. I'll let her know.
Yeah, I know. I love to hear, you know, all the fun stuff that you guys are doing. I know, Eliza, the Pac 19 gang, you guys had a Regatta Regatta. Do you want to talk about that?
Sure, yeah. So we lucked out last Thursday with the weather and we were able to have it outside, and we had a great attendance, not only just from our returning scouts, but we had 5 new recruits, and that was really early in the season. So we were really happy. I believe I actually had to leave our meeting a little bit earlier just to get home to this, but when I was there, there was 2 that had returned already, and I believe one definitely has already joined. And then we had another that just couldn't come because of open house for a public school, but it sounds like he's really interested. So we're already having really great success. And flyers went out this week to our 2 public schools, and I've already had 1 person reach back out about joining. So I would second you, Cindy, in saying that there is definitely a momentum that is building that I can feel too. So it's good.
Oh, I love that. Thank you both for sharing that. I love hearing that stuff. And I actually was at the Regatta Regatta because my son is a den chief for Pac 19. So I had a little inside scoop there. But it was so much fun. It was, you know, that's a simple, I don't want to say simple, Eliza, 'cause I know that went into, there was a lot of planning that goes into it. I used to plan that stuff all the time. So it's not simple in that respect, but simple that, you know, if you have Regatta Regatta materials already, and, you know, you have the snack available, you use the snack items, you know, and kind of do a recycled boat, you know, and they build the boat with their trash essentially. And the kids love doing that because who doesn't like to play with trash, I guess. And, you know, and it just was such a relaxed event, and you could tell all the kids really enjoyed it. And you know, the Regatta Regatta is one of those staples with Cub Scout packs, so it's great to do that. You can always do like a Lego derby or a fun derby with you know, some simple cars that maybe are pre-cut or cars from Cub Scouts of the past that kids can borrow and do like mini races and things like that as well. Anyone else have some good stories out there? Even, oh, Matthew, you
So-
unmuted. Hello, Matthew.
So we're Pac 73 in the Monadnock area. So what we had done, we operated through most of the pandemic until we were told we had to stop. We have a strong den. We had 8, and then we lost 1, and we gained 1. We had the other dens lost a few. We lost a couple completely, and then earlier this spring, when we started back up again, the neighborhood kids were coming over to our meetings and say, "What do we have to do so we can have the same amount of fun?" So we gained 5 there,
Wow.
and then we did the Hillsborough had a Summerfest, and we set up a table and a booth with brochures, information. We had volunteer signups for people to man the table, and then we did a like a mock Ninja Warrior obstacle course. So we set that up down to the field, and we had people run it for time. We had prizes and stuff. We got a few out of that one, and then we also did a float with the Boy Scout troop in the parade. And all said and done, by the end of the weekend, I think we had all total from this summer, we had 10 new scouts.
That's
That is
excellent.
great.
That is really excellent. Thank you for sharing that. All great stuff. And, as you guys notice, as we hear each other talk about ideas, it does all start with the planning, right? Planning the event, coming up with a good date. Weather sometimes is not in our control, but like Eliza said, that night was beautiful, that particular night. We really lucked out. And, having flyers made up and making sure that you're advertising the event. And then hosting the event and making sure you have the appropriate amount of volunteers and people to answer questions. And then again, the follow-up afterwards is super important to invite those families back to your meeting and hopefully register if they didn't already. That's excellent, Matthew. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And we know that all this is a lot of work. I am still a volunteer as well, so I have to switch my hats back and forth. And I'm a volunteer because I just love it so much. And I've been a volunteer for I think 9 years now. I'm starting to lose track. And did popcorn sales, always planned the Pinewood Derby, Halloween parties with the PAX. The list goes on. I held almost not every role. I wasn't ever a Scoutmaster or a Cub Master, but definitely did a lot of those things. So I know the amount of planning and the amount of preparation and time that you all put into this. And I just want to say, on behalf of, council and everybody within Scouting, we appreciate all that you do. We really, really do. We know it takes up a lot of your time. And what I always think of is, we all do this because we love it. It truly is. I mean, it is a passion of mine. And I know everyone on this call, especially, I know you're all passionate. These are all familiar names. And I see the names out there and posting about Scouts and taking those pictures and doing all the things that you're doing. And just remember to keep it fun and definitely ask for help. But when you go in person to another parent and say, hey, can you just help me, set up for the, Derby next week? Or, do you think you could pick up the trophies that we ordered? Start off with little asks. And then, that's how we weasel them in. Don't tell them. But when you start with those small asks, people start to feel more comfortable, right? That those are the same people that start offering a little bit more because they're like, oh, okay, well, I can help with this and I can help with that. And then just kind of, figure out who the people are in your units that, fit into certain roles that maybe you're missing and tailor the role to those personalities. If you have a super outgoing person who is a people person, who is very knowledgeable about the Scouting program, that's your membership coordinator. I know all membership coordinators are pretty much here. But, as an example, another outgoing role, a people person role, is a popcorn colonel. And then the behind the scenes, like advancement coordinator and webmaster and pack trainer, things like that. You want to tailor those roles to the folks that you have. And that's how we can get the help that we need, because it's important to have that support. Anyone else? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Matthew.
I forgot to mention, we gained 3 new leaders as well over this time period.
See, there you go. That's awesome.
I don't know if how the other dens did their Pinewood Derby this past year, if they didn't do it at all. We got creative. We had some techie people in the pack, and we did ours virtually.
Oh, I love it.
So that's another idea for other troops, packs, or whatever, if they want to do like the Rain Gutter Regatta or say the Pinewood Derby, because who knows what's going to happen in the next 6 months. So
I did hear, I mean, who know, like you said, who knows? I don't know what winter will bring between the flu and COVID, but I did read somewhere recently that if everything follows the current trends, that we should be doing much better throughout the winter and heading into spring, COVID wise. So I found that to be a little bit encouraging, and I hope that's true. Winter is always a rough time with illness, so we'll see how that goes. But I agree with you. I mean, nowadays, there's a lot of things we can do virtually. I know it's not quite the same, but the whole pandemic has forced everyone to become more creative. and it is an interesting challenge. And if anyone needs help with, turning something into a virtual event or turning something into, you know, something that needs to look different because of the pandemic or otherwise, definitely reach out. And Matthew, we may be picking your brain.
Yep, I may have to pass the buck and converse with Tony, the Cub Master. But I mean, we work together, and the outgoing Cub Master, Peter, was the one that actually he has all the equipment to do that.
Oh, cool.
So when we talked about doing it virtually, he stepped up and said, I would like to do it. So that was his last thing as the outgoing Cub Master. He did that to help make it virtual.
That is
Um,
awesome. It's great to have those technology people around for sure. Eliza,
I've
I'm
got-
sorry.
Oh, yeah, I was just gonna share. I mean, I can probably get pictures if you guys are interested. We actually didn't do an official Pinewood Derby because we knew we were gonna meet outside. We weren't allowed in our chartered building, but we were allowed to use their outdoor space. So we still wanted to do a Pinewood Derby, but we were too afraid that it could potentially damage our track bringing it outside. So the Bears built our track and we did an outlaw Pinewood Derby. So it was no holds bar. The cars didn't have to get weighed in at a certain amount. And the Bears spent a ton of time on making their own track. So I'm sure if anybody is interested, I'll put my email address in the chat, but I'm sure I can get a hold of some pictures on how that all played out. So it was still able to be held, and kids got awards and the whole bit, and it was all done outside.
I
sounds
I
great.
did see that. That was awesome. Yeah.
I wanted to also talk about, contingencies. I'm a little more pessimistic, I guess. I look at it as, if it's this bad now in the summer and we are seeing cases in schools in the Upper Valley, winter's going to be worse. I just don't see any way around that. I'd be happy to be wrong. But on a brighter note, I guess, I was contacted and filled out a survey at one point about doing merit badges online. I was particularly interested in maybe doing the gardening one in the spring and the fall, but I never really got contacted back. Would that be Granite Base Camp
Yes.
people that I should get in touch with? Okay.
Yeah, definitely. There are online merit badges available now, I believe. So if you go
Yeah,
on,
there's
I
some
think
here
it's,
and there.
yeah, I think she had it listed. Are you on the Wednesday weekly newsletter for Granite Base Camp?
I think so. I'm on a lot of newsletters. I
I
think
know,
so.
I know, me too.
And I do see Granite State Base Camp updates regularly. I
Yeah,
couldn't tell you what day of the week.
she did list out, I think, merit badges in the last Wednesday weekly. Um,
Okay.
and if you want to put your, I'm not sure, well, I'm sure I have your email somewhere, but if you want to put I have your emails from the registration. So,
Yep.
I can email out that information too, actually.
Okay.
As a
I
good-
don't have a lot of time, but doing it twice a year, and it's a live thing, not like a pre-recorded thing, right?
I think it is a live thing, yes.
I thought so. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, they are offering a lot of great programs through Granite Base Camp, which has been helpful to, all the leaders and the families getting to experience a bunch of different things, a kind of obviously different than their regular meeting or the area that they're in, which is nice. So there's definitely a lot to check out. If you guys have a chance to check out experiencebasedcamp.org.
Oh,
I got tongue twisted there. In the Membership Monday newsletter, I don't know if you guys all received that one. I know we're talking about all these newsletters. But we had PAC 160 who recruited 16 new scouts in a very short period of time. And they did use the raffle prize incentive for Bring a Buddy. They took the time and really made a recruitment plan and had people register online. They registered their joint scouting event and requested flyers to promote their events. And they had multiple tables set up at multiple community events with information and flyers, inviting families to come check out their unit. They also utilized the mobile base camp and advertised those events by posting flyers and also getting it out there on social media. Digital flyers, they had digital flyers distributed throughout the school. So if you have schools that are saying, we don't really want anyone in the school and we're not distributing flyers, paper flyers, definitely ask them for a digital flyer. And if you guys need help, getting a flyer, getting a PDF version of a flyer, definitely let me know. There's been a lot of schools offering to do digital flyers this year. And the membership coordinator of that unit followed up with all the leads and invited them back to their unit's joint scouting event nights and additional meetings to make sure that they could come check out the PAC meetings as well. So that PAC 160 is now 50 scouts and growing. She said she actually has handfuls more that she's expecting to join as well. So that was definitely a win I wanted to share. I was hoping she could share it, but I definitely wanted to share that one because that was great too. So they actually won the President's Membership Challenge 3 times because you can re-enter every time you have 5 new scouts. So they're doing their thing over there at PAC 160. Well, that's all I had for this evening. We've been here for an hour and I know everyone's busy, so I don't want to keep you, but if you do have questions or want to talk more about anything, I'm here if you'd like to. Otherwise, I'd love to hear from you via email or phone call anytime. I'm happy to brainstorm ideas with you, brainstorm advertising ideas as well. I'm a marketing promotions person. I'm also a professional writer, so I can help with any of those things. I do karaoke. I mean, whatever you need.
Thank you. Thank you for having this.
Oh, thank you guys so much for coming. I really appreciate it. We appreciate you. And we'll talk to everybody soon. Have a great
Great.
night.
Good night.
Thank you.